And it's physical media and it's physical gaming. I think that we've only seen signs that Microsoft doesn't care about physical media.
You try to tell me that I picked up nothing but a license key, man? I gotta renew this like my license, man. What's wrong with you people, man? I've been supporting gaming for over 30 years, man. And you got Nintendo doing game key cards and y'all blaming third party saying Nintendo would never do this to us, man. That's gonna be my last call, so I'm telling you, but guess what? I'm gonna still pick up that Switch too because I'm a fanboy. Because they ain't no rules to this review.
And struggling with the fact that three of the biggest and most exciting games for me that I wanted to play this year were either Xbox exclusive, Xbox owned, or even Xbox timed exclusive potentially. 3 games already in 2025 that I would have purchased with my money and owned physical and played and loved on my Xbox Series X.
And the funny thing is, you can still continue to do that. It's called hustling these companies. Wait for the games to come out, pay the $20 for the month to play, or should I say get access to the 3 games that you want to play, and then unsubscribe. It's that simple. Now, mind you, you shouldn't have to feel the need to miss out on the game because you can't own it. But this also shows you that you're looking at it from the collector's standpoint. Now, mind you, I get it. If you love the game so much, you want to hold on to it. You know, that's the power as consumers that we can still continue to play the games, even though we're not subscribed to a subscription service. But you can still get your game on, man, and just subscribe for $20 a month and then unsub once you're done playing all the games. No different than a Blockbuster. There's no reason for you to starve yourself and missing out on games just because you can't get a physical copy of that experience.
I haven't been able to do that because they're not available physical. And that is Avowed, South of Midnight, and the frickin' Oblivion remaster, which, God, that looks awesome, and I want it so badly, but it's only available digitally, and I know it's on, Steam and PlayStation as well. That's not
And it's also on Game Pass Ultimate, and I'm assuming that you pay for the subscription service, so there's no excuse as to why you couldn't play it. But I want a physical copy. I want to feel important. This is the problem with the gaming community. Like I said, I perfectly understand as to what your people are talking about, but don't get it twisted. I'm not going to completely miss my game on because the game don't have a physical copy. Like I said, I'm going to hustle these companies. I mean, you already have the Xbox Series X. You might as well play these games considering that you have access to them through Game Pass Ultimate. So what is the excuse of you not playing these games? Because there's no physical copy? Play them. I don't get it, man. Because at the end of the day, all you so-called physical game collectors, all y'all doing is keeping the game sealed and putting it up on a shelf. And the games ain't getting played anyway.
Xbox, even though Bethesda is owned by Microsoft, so that's where it falls into that category. But that's a game that's only available digitally or on Game Pass. So all 3 of those games I just mentioned, Avowed, South of Midnight, and Oblivion Remaster, it's either Game Pass, which I don't subscribe to because it's not a service that works for me.
Really?
And I can't buy them physically. I can't own a freaking copy and hold in my hand Oblivion.
But what about putting the game in your console? See, it's all about the feeling. It's about holding on to the piece of plastic or smelling the cardboard. What? This has nothing to do with gaming, man. Subscribe for $20 a month and play the games. And then cry later about how we ain't got a physical copy. If you want to play these games so bad, you can still do it in at least one of the ways of a pro consumer by playing the games through day one on Game Pass Ultimate. You can pay $20 right now and complete all those games within the 1 month that you're anticipating. And there you go. And then unsubscribe. Like, this guy's acting like as if he never rented a game at Blockbuster before.
Wow, from Obsidian Studios. Like, these are games, and South of Midnight. I can't forget the team. I can't remember the team.
Compulsion Games? Just like you're making a compulsive decision right now by not playing it because of there's no physical copy.
It's your hobby, whether it's listening to music, playing music, like I play music, playing video games and buying video games.
See, what you don't understand that most people, consume their entertainment, even music, mind you, through digital means. It is what it is, man. I think you're stuck in the past, buddy. I mean, I get it. I understand where you're coming from, the days of the VHS cassettes. And I mean, look at it, bro. You don't need a lot of that stuff anymore, man. I mean, you're holding on to something that ain't holding on to you. Bro, it's an inanimate object, bro. It's not in love with you, bro. Like, I get it. I would prefer to have the physical copy too, but we can clearly see that companies are starting to weed that out of console gaming. Now, mind you, if you feel like this will be your last console with a Switch 2, I can guarantee you that when the Switch 3 comes out, probably 7 to 8 years from now, you're going to pick that up. And guess what? I can guarantee it's going to be all digital. And you're still going to support Nintendo. So, because if you really wanted to put your foot down, you shouldn't be buying a Switch 2 at all then.
Going to movies, dancing, knitting, whatever it is, playing sports, how you experience those things, your interaction with them is very, very important. And for me, my interaction with the video game industry, as I said, old man, going back to like the early 80s, was buying consoles that plug into my TV and they have games and I own the game and I can plug it in at any time and I can go back to them decades later.
And this is why I don't understand as to why console gamers fight with PC, because guess what? PC is help preserving those games. So even if you don't have, which is also digital, so even if you don't have access to these games, you can still get them through an emulator and play the ROMs through there. You guys should really be thanking the PC gaming community for this, because guess what? There would have been tons, I mean thousands of games that would have been lost if you put your faith all into these companies. Do you get what I'm saying? Y'all like games, so you're right. If it wasn't for PC, we wouldn't have access to thousands and thousands of games. And let's not forget, that's all done, what? Digitally. Like I said, you know, it's kind of hard. It's a double-edged sword. It is what it is, man. You know, we still need digital because that's how they take the physical copy and then they dump it on PC. So they both go hand in hand with each other. It's just the problem is companies are sick and tired of you guys doing it. And I'm telling you, as time goes on, they're going to be trying to shut down those ROM sites, man. And Microsoft might actually help with that. You guys got to be careful for what you're asking for. That's why I keep telling you, get your ROMs, get your emulators, get everything that you need now so they can't potentially take that away from you. But no, you guys are just taking it easy. You think Steam, you think Microsoft, you think Sony, or even Nintendo has your best interest. Let's not forget, Nintendo closed down two eShops. They closed down the DS, the 3DS. They could have all transferred that progress all the way to the Switch 2, but instead now you're paying for it on Switch 2 through a subscription service. Like, come on, man. You want to talk about physical media? Bro, get out of here with this garbage.
And I have the game. It's very important to me. And to a lot of people.
And the funny thing is, this dude's talking about how I have the game, but yet I don't even see games in your room. What are you talking about, bro? This room looks completely empty. If anything, you got more toys than games. I could understand if you were showing a bunch of games out of your shelf or out of your collection, but bro, where's the games? I see nothing but toys here.
Maybe not to everybody.
And guess what? They all sealed. They don't even look like you opened them.
Maybe not to a lot of you guys watching, but it is important to me and a lot of people.
Oh, really?
And so when 3 of the biggest games in 2025 have already released, and I haven't been able to play them because the industry...
And whose fault is that? You could have played them. You could have played them through Game Pass Ultimate, $20 a month, and then you could have unsubscribed. The end. If you have that much of a problem, you could even did it on PC for what, $15? And save money. And then emulate everything else you wanted, which is all digitally. What do you don't understand, man?
And the companies behind them are not servicing a consumer like me.
Because you know why? Because there's not enough consumers like you. I mean, look at the fiscal reports, guys. Every year, people are buying less and less physical games. What makes you think these companies want to spend all the time and money putting out a physical game that you people are not going to buy and then you're going to wait for the game to get discounted on shelves? These companies are fully aware of this. That's why they don't like physical copies. Because as more games get printed to retail, as a retailer, they have to eventually drop the prices of the games to let them go. Or you're going to have a Sega situation where they got Sega CDs and Sega 32Xs and they're not going to know what to get rid of. They're going to know how to get rid of it. That's the reason why physical media is dying out. And also, too, you people ain't buying it.
By allowing me to buy it physically, that's a problem. And it's very much indicative of...
You ever heard of limited run?
Everything we see coming from Microsoft and the Xbox brand, which again...
But it's not just Xbox. PlayStation 5 is doing the same thing. Their whole disk drive is DRM. Even if you have the game on the disc, you're still bottlenecked by the PS5 disk drive. Because it has to be synchronized online. Now, mind you, if you have the base PS5, there's no problem with that. It's only a problem with the detachable disk drives, with the PS5 Slim and Pro, which in my personal opinion is not real physical media. So yeah, even though the game is on the disc, but as soon as your disk drive goes out 20, 30 years down the future, you want to play it on your PS5, well, guess what? The game is going to be inaccessible. Just like Nintendo with these game key cards, especially with the way they closed down eShops. Yeah, I don't think I want to put my money into Nintendo after what they did with the Wii and the Wii U.
Theory, I'm a fan of. I'm rooting for Xbox to go back to the glory days of the original Xbox and the Xbox 360. That's what
I mean, you're mostly talking. It's not even about the glory days of Xbox. It has more to do with the glory days of gaming in general.
Great. I want you to keep being Xbox consoles, but I'm really worried it's going to just come out and it's going to be a digital-only device, or it's just going to be like a Game Pass launcher. And again, I'm not a Game Pass guy. I don't want to rent my games for a couple of $100 a year, which is what that costs.
No, you could do it $20 a month, and you can unsubscribe whenever you want. What are you making it seem like you have to still continue? You could be like, okay, I'm going to just wait at the end of the year and then play all the games within the 1 to 2 months, which would probably be $40. That's still a steal. Okay? You could just subscribe to Game Pass when you feel the need to go back and revisit and play some games that you missed. I don't get it, man. But go ahead.
Again, I buy my games. I don't want to rent them. Game Pass is a fine service as an option. I'll never deny that. It's very consumer friendly if you game that way. But again, myself and other people like me don't game that way. So Game Pass is not the
Well, the vast majority say otherwise. Because you know why? The vast majority are buying their games through digital means. And what a lot of so you're trying to tell me you never bought a digital game on discount? You will be lying to yourself. You're trying to tell me you never bought a game. You're like, games. So you're catching them on a lie. You're trying to tell me you never bought a digital game off Nintendo's eShop, bro? Cut the cap, bro. I've seen the sales, bro. I've seen the sales, man. You'll be a fool to sit there and say, I didn't buy one. What are you talking about? I paid $60 for it in the store. Well, it says $5 on the eShop, though. No, I need my physical. I bought the $60. Cut the cap, bro. I love when people lie about them not picking up. So that means you've never picked up any digital game, is what you're saying. You know that's a bold-faced lie, bro. Because I've seen the sales. I have physical copies of games, and I'm like, man, I'm just going to pick up this version because it's only $3. And I don't have to go pick up the CD anymore. I can just load it from my console, all due to the convenience. You're trying to tell me you never indulged? Yeah, bro, I don't believe it.
For everybody.
I don't believe it.
And so if that's what happens with Microsoft and the Xbox, then I'm not interested. And I would have no reason to buy the next Xbox, let alone the fact that with the recent announcement that Gears of War as an IP is now making the jump to PlayStation,
really?
And for all we know, even Nintendo down the road, we're also seeing that Microsoft doesn't value the idea of exclusive content. And that's another thing I very, very much believe in hugely. It is so important.
So why is this like all of a sudden an Xbox hate video? Because I go as far to say that this is video gaming in general. Did you take this approach so you could bash Xbox? Like, this is all you guys do, man. And the funny thing is about this, you said that Xbox got 3 games that you want to play, and instead of you playing it, you're complaining. This is what you're doing. You could have bought enough time with these games so you could wait for the Nintendo Switch to come out inevitably, but no, you want to complain about nothing.
Brand and the value and to drive competition and creativity amongst this industry for these companies.
Bro, that has been over a long time ago.
Console manufacturers to hold on to their identity by holding on to their...
What identity is that? Stellar Blaze selling 1 million. Astrobot went at 1.5 million. I mean, Expedition was on 3 consoles and Game Pass alone. 1 million. I think it's at 2 million now, which is good. What are you talking about? The vast majority did not pick up the game. See, that's what you guys don't understand. People are not picking up your PS5 or the Xbox Series X for exclusives. Now, Nintendo is a different argument. But a lot of that is mostly due to nostalgia. And if we want to sit there and use that exclusive argument, then how come exclusives didn't sell the Wii U? Oh, that's right, because it wasn't portable. Nintendo has always been successful in portable because it's always looked more as a secondary console than a primary. That's why Nintendo had to leave the home console market. Matter of fact, you guys left before Microsoft did.
Exclusive IP. Yes, it's good when a good franchise can be played by more people. So that is true. But what's also true is that it's important for a company to maintain their brand and to strengthen it and to keep that competition amongst the companies alive.
There's no competition, bro. They all making their money. Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. What competition are you talking about, bro? You just said that Microsoft had 3 good games coming out and it had nothing to do with exclusivity because you could play it on PS5 and Steam. And you out here complaining.
So that everyone is fighting to make the best product to earn your dollar.
That's what you're not understanding. You're old-fashioned, bro. They're not doing that anymore, bro. And the funny thing is, I go as far to say that didn't even work back then. Did those exclusives help sell the N64? Did those exclusives help sell the GameCube? Oh, you're like, oh, snap, GameStop. You're kind of right. Did exclusives help sell the Wii U? I don't think so, buddy. So exclusives clearly ain't the reason why these companies are successful. Nintendo's only successful with the Switch 2 because it's portable, like all the other portable devices that have been popular. That is not a flex. I'm telling you, if Nintendo made a Wii U 2 or a next-gen Nintendo console, home console style like Xbox and PlayStation, it would fail. You know this. That's what y'all don't understand, man. Y'all capping.
If Gears of War is everywhere and Microsoft isn't fighting to earn your dollar on their console, then they have less incentive to make sure that every Gears of War game is the best it could be. If it's the best it could be, maybe you'll not buy this PlayStation game so that you can buy an Xbox in this new Gears of War game. That's how it's supposed to work. And then we, the gamer, wins because Microsoft has made the best Gears of War game or the best Forza game or whatever else they might make.
I mean, that is subjective. Just because a game is exclusive doesn't mean the game is good. I can give you countless amount of exclusive games that are complete trash. Okay? Exclusivity doesn't make a game infinitely better. Okay? Mario 64, which is a great game, which can be also played on emulator, doesn't take away the fact that I can play it on PC and it's better. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's still a good game regardless of what you play it on. Exclusivity did not help that. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, this whole exclusivity argument that y'all doing, now I get it in comparison to back then, because that's how they were trying to push for the console and push for the software sales, but that's not something that's working now, because you got free-to-plays. Matter of fact, the most successful games are the games that people don't even have to buy.
The future, and so this is all a long way to say, when we look at the next Xbox, I don't think I'm going to have a reason to buy it, because I very much think there's a great chance it's going to be digital only.
Which the PlayStation 6 will be too.
And
what you don't understand, Nintendo Switch 2 is going to do the same thing. There's only going to be a certain amount of time. Now, mind you, I think most Nintendo games can fit on the highest of a 64GB cartridge, but this is the last Nintendo device that you're going to get that is going to be physical from Nintendo. You think they're going to put 128GB cartridge games? Once that limitation hits, because most Nintendo games are on a smaller scale, once you see the first Nintendo Switch game at a 64GB cartridge, which will probably be priced at $100, that's when you're going to start seeing Nintendo Swift to more of a digital-only future. It's already happening. They're going to be following next. And this is something that you Nintendo fanboys don't want to understand.
Games, but going forward, there will not be physical media for the PlayStation 6 generation of games. And so whether it's just a digital-only console outright...
And what makes you don't think... And I think he does know that Nintendo's doing it. That's probably why he's saying that the Switch 2 will be his last. Well, hey, I'm sorry, buddy. You know, maybe you might want to find a new hobby.
Or if the disk drive might be only for playing backwards compatible games and not for the future... That is something that companies. Now, what about Nintendo? What about my favorite company,
there you
Nintendo?
Go. Get to that point.
That is 4 weeks away from releasing their next generation console. Well, right now, reason to say Nintendo's got me for the next generation. They have me for the next 5 to 10 years, like I said. And I want to believe Nintendo knows there's such a value in supporting the physical market.
They don't. And I'm going to tell you right now, Nintendo don't care.
And yet there's subscription services, NSO, to be able to play N64 and Super Nintendo games. I don't really care about that stuff, so I don't mind ignoring it. But I think we'll be smart enough. It's tough to say.
No, they're not.
In 10 years, in 2035...
Once it goes over 64GB cartridges, they're done. I'm telling you right now. Nintendo got a leadway just because their games are on a smaller scale. But once you see the biggest the biggest Nintendo Switch 2 game on a 64GB cartridge, it's done. Nintendo's going to go full digital. I can guarantee it with the next Switch. Guaranteed.
Maybe Nintendo does cave and they start to move in the digital-only way. Woo! And they push subscription services even more and whatnot. But
I'm hearing that Nintendo's going to have their own distributing service very similar to Steam. That's why you don't see them putting their games on other platforms, because they're going to distribute the games themselves. Watch. Y'all like GameStop. You out here predicting 10, 15 year things in the future. Oh, yeah. I already know, bro. I already know.
I want to believe that even in 8 to 10 years, Nintendo will still realize there's a value to supporting gamers like me who value...
And how are they going to be able to do that, considering that they're already complaining? That's why third parties not putting it on the cartridge, because it's too expensive to do that. Nintendo, once they realize that they can't do that no more, they're done. And I'm telling you, and if they do it, expect to be paying $150 for a Nintendo Switch cartridge on 128 gigabytes. I'm telling you. That's kind of where it's going. You're going to be paying Neo Geo prices for Switch 3 games. Watch.
Not be buying those consoles ever again. So then we look at Nintendo. I'm buying the Switch 2, so I know that's going to happen, but is there a chance the Switch 3 or their next console after that does start to move? Again, 10 years is a long time.
Hey, he knows it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. They all know the future of gaming. GameStop with another W. I told you that gaming was pushing for a digital-only future. And like I said, remember when I told you we're still in the infancy stage. We haven't even got to the mature stage yet, and we're already starting to see it. Okay? It's done. Physical media is gone. Enjoy what you have. Play what you want. The end. Console war is over. Take care, everybody. Peace out.